The small village of Summer's Glade sits quietly in the shadow of a massive castle. You came upon the village in the hopes of replenishing your bodies and minds. Many dangerous encounters have left you tired and worn, but your resilience is unbroken. To your surprise, the town is devastated. Rooftops and walkways are covered in black ash. There is not a single inhabitant in sight. Whatever flame consumed this town, it has taken all that lives. Soon a shadow is cast upon you, and in front of the setting sun, a young boy emerges. He slowly comes up to you, a glimmer of hope on his defeated face. You came too late. The boy is weak and feeble. The dragon lives. I will show you. He slowly stumbles toward the castle entrance on the horizon. You follow. Once inside the stone walls, the entrance seals behind you, and the boy vanishes into the air, a grim smile spread across his face. There is no way out. Your only choice is to delve deeper into the dungeon's depths. As you make your journey into the dungeon, corpses that lined the floor begin to writhe with life. Behind you, near the sealed entrance, monsters appear from the shadows. You are ill-prepared for the surprise attack. Zombies feast on your flesh, while Bargheists gnaw at the bones underneath. This dragon may be your grave. All right, so I've set it up for a 3-player game. Let me start off by saying it has been about a year since I've played Descent, so I'm a little rusty on the rules. I'm going to do my best to play correctly, but please feel free to note any mistakes I make because, like I said, it's been a while since I've played. But I set up a 3-player game. I've followed the scenario directions for our opening tile here, and for my characters, I'm starting with the classic 3. We have our wizard, our fighter, and our cleric. So they're going to be, these little ladies here are going to be taking on this dungeon. And remember, on the onset, in this little tile layup, if any of these heroes enter a space that's not adjacent to another one, they will suffer a 3 fatigue hit. So I need to keep them together. And my plan of attack is my little cleric here, she has the ability to stun any creature that activates next to her. So in this expansion, you get to pick who goes first, all right, on every round. There's no set turn order. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with my cleric. So let's check out her stats, and I'll show you how we're going to try and take on these little monsters. All right, so here we are with Ashrian. For her, I picked discipline as her area of focus. And the rules state that when you start the scenario, every hero starts with 1 experience point. And you can either spend that at the start of your adventure, or you can save it and then spend it later on, okay? So I've just decided to go ahead and pick up some extra abilities. So I took Blessed Strike for her 1 experience point. She starts with her basic mace and shield, okay? I've got her 4 fatigue. Instead of trying to deal with all of the little tiny heart tokens that drive me batty, I just like to use a die. I just find that's easier to deal with than the accumulated pile of stuff. And as I mentioned, her hero ability is that when a minion monster begins its activation adjacent to you, it is stunned. So I'm going to send in Ash here, and I'm going to try and position her next to some of these monsters. Well, I want her to end her turn there so that when they activate, they're going to start out stunned. So she has a movement of 5. And she has a mace, which also stuns. I guess she's just a stunning lady. Unfortunately, both of her abilities are healing abilities, so she's probably not going to be getting into these this particular turn. But let's walk up to one of those little lion-y Bargheist and give a whack at it with our mace and see what we can do. All right, Miss Ash, you're going to take a step forward here. We're going to take on this little master monster. And she's going to be swinging with her iron mace. And that's a, let's see, I'll get my dice ready here. A blue and a yellow. Right on. And the master monster, he gets to defend with, it's like 1 light gray. So those are going to be our odds. Let's see how we do. Let's see what we get. Okay, all right, nice. We don't need any range. Oh, but he did roll a shield. So we have 2 hearts, no surges, and 1 shield. So they're going to cancel those out. We will, however, manage to get 1 hit on this little monster. And of course, let's see. Yeah, he's sitting at 6 health. So not a lot, but every bit helps. So I'm going to go ahead and just place 1 heart over here, just to remind me. And that leaves her right where we want her, adjacent to both of them. So that worked out pretty good. Not a big hit, but strategically, I think a good move. So who's next? I think our little fighter's going to step up here and take a whack. Let's go check her out. All right. Cindrail is going to be up next, and let's see, her hero ability is that if she doesn't move, she can recover 2 stamina. I picked for her the Knight class, and with her 1 experience point, I picked up Advance. So if we manage to kill a monster, we will be able to sort of take a charge and take another hit again. But for now, we're just going to pick up our blade, take a swing, and see if we can add a couple more hearts of damage. All right. Sorry, I'm recording. All right, Cindrail. Oh, look at that. She doesn't even have to take a step. This is fabulous. So she's going to get in 2 attacks here. And I think with her iron longsword, yep, a blue and a red, we got that. And this is just a regular old Bargheist, and so they're going to roll also a single defense die. So let's see, let's take 2 hits at them and see what happens. Ooh, I like that. All right, so no shields, that's fabulous. We get 1 heart through, another heart, and a surge. How will we spend that surge? Well, her sword says you may force the target to re-roll 1 defense dice. Don't actually want to do that, but that's the only thing we can use a surge for. Bummer. Okay, nothing exciting there. That particular monster will take, however, 2 hits. I like that. Let's put 2 down here just to remind me. And he has a total of 4. So let's do that one more time. For her second action, she's going to take another swing at that same monster. Grabbed it. Nice. Oh my goodness, look at that. No surges, so we can't re-roll that defense die, but that's okay because, wow, 4, that's incredible. Okay, so she is going to take a good strong wallop and pretty much destroy that Bargheist for us, which is nicely done. Let me check here. Because we destroyed a creature, can we use Advance? Let's see what it says. After defeating a monster with an attack using a melee weapon, we did that, exhaust this card to move up to your speed and perform an additional attack. Well, how about yes, please for that. So let's pay a fatigue, exhaust this card, and move up to our speed. Oh, okay. That's going to leave our shaman all by herself, right? So if she moves, she's going to suffer this penalty of -3. Now it does say each time a hero enters a space. So if she doesn't move, I'm going to say she doesn't suffer that penalty. All right, so let's leave her there. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and take our advanced action, move up to our speed. We don't need quite that much speed. And see if we can't get another great roll against this master monster. All right, come on, Cindrael. Oh, all right, I like this. We did get a lovely surge. Whoops, that was a 6-heart surge with 1 defense. So I am going to force him to re-roll that defense and hope for something better. Ah, no luck, no luck. All right, that's okay, that's okay. We're gonna get 2 hearts through on this creature now. Ah, so he's hurt by 3, and remember, he's got a whopping 6 on him, so we're halfway there. We're halfway there. That was a good deal. That was a good deal. That was totally worth it. Okay, now that the turn is over for Cindrael, because we have defeated somebody, let's scoot over to that loot track and take credit for our first slain beastie. And we have defeated our first monster. Very exciting stuff. Remember, we look at the base of the monster, how many squares he occupies, tells us how far up this little loot track we can go. This is just a 2-square monster. So we get to place our little heart on 2. We're playing a 5-person game. So if we can get up to the number 5, we'll be able to pull a loot card. Forgot to mention at the start of the game, we put that there. You're always allowed to pull 1 card. All right, if we defeat a red creature, then we'll move this up to 2, but we started at 1. All right, moving up the loot track. Doing good so far. Okay, and of course our last lovely lady is the widow Tara. And for her, I decided to make her a rune master and picked her up some ghost armor. Her ability is once per round, after you roll dice for an attack, you may re-roll 1 attack dice or power die. You must keep the new result. So she has a little bit of a re-roll ability going on. She's loaded up here with Arcane Bolt. All right. Her runic knowledge, however, gives her an additional surge ability. So I'm really hoping for some surges here with the widow. Let's see how she does. All right, the widow's going to go. Now, this little card does say that fatigue loss is only the hero who enters a space. All right, so since she's not moving, I'm going to say, even though she's not adjacent to anyone, she's not going to get hit with that fatigue penalty. We're just going to have her stand and shoot off some arcane bolts. Right, we're going up against zombies. Now we get to pick who we want to do first. So let's go ahead and pick this red guy first. See if we can't get rid of him. He's rolling a brown defense die. And with her arcane bolt, she's going to be pulling up a blue and a yellow. All right. Blue and a yellow versus a brown. And we're looking for surges. Ooh, all right, let's see. What are we going to do with this? Okay, well, the good news is we definitely made our range, a range of 6. I like that. No defense rolled. Ha ha, I definitely like that. So we ended up with 3 hearts plus a surge. Now this master zombie, wow, he's tough. He has a health of 6. So let's see if we can't up that attack, all right? And I think we can do that with our arcane bolt. It'll give us range and a pierce. Don't need any of those. But we do remember, we do have some knowledge. And this says, when you have a magic or runed weapon equipped, which we do, each of your attacks gains, all right, we can spend our lightning bolt, suffer a fatigue, and gain 2 more hearts. So let's do that. Let's pay up that fatigue token.
That'll give us 2 more hearts for a total of 5. Wow, that's awesome. Not quite enough to take her down, or to take it down. I don't know if that's a male or female zombie. That's a pretty good hit. It's a pretty good hit. Okay, so for her next round, the question is, do we want to go after this little minion? Because I'm pretty sure we could take him out with only 3 health. Or do we want to finish off this master? Let's finish off the master. Let's finish off the master. Let's get him off the board. So let's shoot another arcane bolt. Same dice. Oh, bummer, bummer, bummer. She rolled a miss. Okay. The good news is she does have her hero ability that says once per round I can re-roll 1 die. I must keep the new result. All right, so these guys we're going to keep for now. Let's try again with our blue. Ah, much better. We got our needed range. We got a bunch of hearts and another lightning bolt. That is fabulous. So here's the thing. He only has a health of 6, so we only need a hit of 1, right? So if we let this shield stand as it is, we still get our 2 hearts through. And let's use that lightning bolt instead to recover that fatigue we just spent. All right, great. So we got rid of him. He is gone. Whoops. He's still standing. But let's go ahead and take his credit on our loot track and see where we are. All right, so the rules state that whenever you kill a master monster, you're going to be moving both of these tokens, right? And the first one you always move is going to be your card limit. So we're going to clock in the fact that he was a master monster first. And then we're going to add up the heart on our heart track. All right, so we're doing pretty good. We're 3 up, 2 up. Defeated one of our first masters. Now, oh dear, it's going to be the Overlord's turn. So let me go through really quick how that works, the steps of it, since it's going to be our first time. I'm going to take some time to do that. And then after that, we can kind of power through it a little bit quicker.
All right, so let me run through the little steps here, make sure we're not missing anything. We've done the hero phase, check and check. Next up is the Overlord phase, and this tells us we need to apply the Overlord effects, okay? Remember, that's the bottom of these cards here. We only apply the Overlord effect if we've satisfied the timer for this particular encounter card. We haven't yet. We're just going to place 1 token down there. Next turn, however, this card is going to kick in. But for now, we're good. No Overlord effect. Next, we're going to move on to Fate. And this says if there's no active exploration card, advance Fate by 1 and resolve 1 peril card. Remember, peril are these little horrible cards. Luckily for us, we still have an active exploration card, so we're going to skip the Fate step, leaving us with monster activation. All right. Let's pull ourselves a monster activation card. Fabulous. The first thing we need to do is determine which monster group is going to activate first and run through this card. So let's head back to the board and see what happens to our heroes next.
All right, monster activation. We pull the first card. Let's see what they're going to do. All right, we don't have any flesh molders. We don't have any shadow dragons, so we're going to drop down here to zombies, and we don't have any red. We took care of them. So let's go through what this first zombie is going to do. Remember, we're going to read from top to bottom, and they're going to get 2 actions. Now, they're still going to be restricted by their type. So for instance, this little zombie, remember, he's shambling. So that means he may not perform more than 1 move action. All right, so he's not going to be able to double move, even if that's, listed on his little action chart. So let's see. So the first thing it says is engage the closest diseased hero. Now, engage is a new term. That's one of those new words that they've used in this expansion. And engage means perform a move action and move toward the specified target. All right. If the monster would not move, the action's not performed. All right. So here it says, engage the closest diseased hero. We have no diseased hero, so we're going to ignore that step. We're going to go to the next one. Attack an adjacent hero. We have nobody adjacent. We're going to skip that, and we're going to move to engage the closest hero. All right, engage, of course, means move. So in this case, he has a move of 3. Unfortunately, the widow is close enough that he's just going to step right up to her. All right, he has engaged her. That was his first action. Now, because he has a second action, we're going to go back to the top of the list and start again. Engage the closest diseased hero. No, thank you. Aha, attack an adjacent hero. Now that will trigger. And it goes on to say, then, if that hero is diseased, perform 1 additional attack targeting that hero. Oh dear. All right. So he's going to go after the widow and take a swipe at her with his horribly diseased flesh. He is a blue and a yellow. And the widow, what does she roll for her defense? She gets 1 gray. Let's see. She does, remember, have ghost armor. So after you roll defense, I can use this card to add 1 shield to the result. So I do have that in reserve. Let's see how the zombie does against her. Ooh, 5, 1 shield, fabulous, and 2 hearts. All right, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad because the little zombie needed a little lightning bolt to disease us, and so we don't have to worry about getting through that second attack. He did, however, get through 3 hits to our 1 heart. Might as well, right? Might as well tap our ghost armor. It'll cost us 1 fatigue. Let's do it. I'll pay that right now, and that'll give us 2 hearts, so she'll just take 1 hit. Taking her down to 9. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. That was the zombie's second action. So he's done. Okay? He's done. Now, who's next? All right. The Barghest. The monsters start, and it says, engage the hero who has the most damage tokens on his hero sheet. Interesting. Interesting, because that's now the widow. The problem is, I guess this little Barkheist is going to totally ignore the 2 heroes standing in front of him. Interesting. All right. Remember, engage means we're going to target that hero and we're going to perform a move action. Okay. Not a problem. He can get through, right? So the kooky part about Descent, if I remember correctly, is for these large bases, you shrink them down so they only take up 1 square, and as long as they can move as a 1 square unit, they can move. So there is a way around here. He has a movement of 4, so he could go 1, 2, 3. So he's going to end up here. Okay. Now you might remember my brilliant plan was to leave Ash back here so that she could stun any monster that activates next to her. Well, there's one small problem. Ash's stun ability only works on minion monsters, these little white guys. Her stun ability will not work against a master. So this Barkheist is not at all impressed with Ash or Sindrail, so he's just going to walk right by him here. 1, 2, 3, and we'll stick him right here. He's coming at the widow from behind. So we have engaged the hero who has the most damage tokens. And now we're going to howl. Oh, howl. All right. Let's see. Howl says each hero within 3 spaces must test willpower. Each hero that fails suffers 1 fatigue. Everyone is within 3 spaces. So this Barkheist is going to let out a massive howl. It's going to shatter the eardrums of our poor heroes. So for characteristic tests, you roll a black and a gray, rolling against their willpower. So since the widow is targeted, her willpower is 3. We need to meet or under 3. Yes, nicely done. She is unaffected by the howl. Guess we'll do Sindrail next with a willpower of 2. Oh dear. Oh, also unaffected. And finally Ash, willpower 3. Ah, so she's the only one. She's the only one who's who is stunned by this horrible, horrible howl. Our Barkheist, however, has performed his 2 actions, so that is it. Doesn't do any damage, except, I guess, to their mental health. So we'll go ahead and discard this card. And that's the end of the turn. Now it's our hero's turn. We need to finish off these monsters and get to this door at the end of this turn, or we're going to have to activate the Overlord effect. Let me figure out who we're going to start with. All right, since the widow is surrounded, let's see if she can't take out both of these monsters. Remember, I don't want her to move because she's not adjacent to anyone. So as long as she's just standing there, let's have her do something useful. So let's start with this little minion zombie who dared hit her. She's going to fire off her arcane bolt at him. He only has 3 life, so let's see if we can't put him out of his misery. Ooh, nice. All right. All right. All right. We definitely made our range. 1. Bummer, bummer. We needed 3. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to do it again, yet again. Oh no, because we didn't have a surge. Ooh, should I re-roll one of these? Maybe I will. Maybe I will, because I need that one last heart. And so let's keep the 4 and let's keep the double. Let's see if we can't get luckier on this one. Let's do that. Let's use her hero ability and re-roll this die. Whoops. Ah, perfect. Just what we wanted. 2. All right. That gives us the 3 we need, and this little shambler is destroyed. Fabulous. I'm going to move us up a tick on the loot track, taking us to 4. We're 1 away from our first loot card. And she's going to spin around here and go after the Howler. Now remember, he has 3 hits on him. He has a health of 6. So we need to get another hit of 3, but he rolls a little bit better. Defense die. Darn it. Okay, let's see what we can do. Ouch, ouch. Okay. Ah, bummer. We're kind of in the same spot we were before. We have no surges and we need surges. So without that, we've already re-rolled. Man, only 1 hit is going to get through. Bum deal, bum deal. Okay, the widow, she did the best she could. She did the best she could. That's going to be her turn over. So then now I got to think about this, because I have to get, I guess I will activate her next. Because we've got to get rid of this monster. We've got to get rid of this monster, because if we don't, and we go into the Overlord phase, we are going to regret it. All right, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to bring in my heavy hitter here. Sindril is going to take a wallop at this horrible little Barghest, and hopefully she will have better luck. Let's see what we can do. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. This Barghest has some serious armor on it. So we have 3 shields. Wow. Luckily, we can force the target to reroll 1 defense die. That's how we're definitely going to spend our little surge. So we're going to try again. That's much better. That's much better. Okay. That's great, because with no defense, both hits go through, and we're going to remove this beastie. Now, taking this beast off is going to trigger a bunch of things, and before I do anything else, the first thing we're going to do is take care of the active card, all right? Because this card says on it, if there are no monsters on the map, discard this exploration card. So as soon as that happens, as soon as this triggers, we get rid of the card. Okay, we don't have to wait for the Overlord phase. So this card is now officially gone. And with it is that penalty to movement. So our people no longer have to be adjacent to each other. All right. So Sindril still has a turn. So before we go and rack up our loot points, let's go ahead and finish her turn off. Now, she did kill a monster, so she could advance, but there's really nothing to advance to right now. She only has a movement of 4. She doesn't have any actions left, so she cannot open this door, and she doesn't have enough left to trigger that loot. But I think I'm going to position her to do that. All right, I want that loot. I don't want to leave it behind. So for her second action, I'm just going to move her 1. Okay, next turn she's going to pick that up, and then she's going to have to hoof it down here to join the fray. And that's going to end her turn. So let's go to the loot track and see what we find. All right, so remember, this is where this whole kooky order thing becomes important, because we're going to record the red master monster first, just a slide up here. We're then going to take our hearts, 2 bases, 2 hearts, 1, 2, but we hit that number 5 mark, all right? So as soon as you hit your loot limit, you immediately pull the number of cards you're allowed, 1, 2, 3, and then reset your track, all right? So the heart comes totally to the bottom. The fatigue token goes down to 1. That second heart we gained, because he was a 2-base creature, it's just lost, all right? We don't get to start at 1. We only get till we hit 5. Anything over that is lost. And we ended up with armor, a sling, and a battle axe. Aha, I think I know where to put that to good use. So let's keep the battle axe. These get put on the bottom of the pile. And let's go back and finish Ash's turn. All right, I'm going to do a quick backtrack here because I had forgotten one of the rules. Okay, I'm a little rusty at Descent, so cut me some slack. I had forgotten that you can spend your fatigue tokens to get movement points. One of these little handy rules. So actually, for Cindy here, I think instead of just moving her 1 and stopping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 of her fatigue tokens, and that's going to gain her 1 movement point, all right? Which is just enough to scoot her forward, putting her adjacent to the token. And then with her second action, I'm going to search, and I'm going to claim this loot. And it's, ooh, a health potion. Fabulous. I will take that and add it to her inventory. And that way, I think that's a little wiser move. It gets her, we'll spin her around, and she's going to be ready to charge down the hall here with her sisters. And we'll end her turn there. And now we will move on to Ash, because Ash, remember, needs to get to this door. She has the last of our heroes to go, and when her turn is over and the Overlord begins, if there's no active exploration card, we will have to advance a fate, and we will fall into some peril, and we do not want peril this early in the game. So Ash here needs to hoof it down and see what lies ahead in this dungeon. So let's have her take her 5 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for her first action. And for her second action, we're going to have her open the door.